Hey, what's up, guys? Faramar here, back at it with another Mythic Plus dungeon guide. Alright? In this guide, I am going to be revealing a new build that I've been running for the past few weeks. I have not seen any other ferals running it. I have specifically been keeping it under the radar so that I can get as much testing in there as possible and not look like a goofball when I try and reveal this to the feral community, okay? So, some of you guys might say I'm crazy. If you remember back when essences first came out, everybody was saying you have to run focusing iris in M+, right? Blood of the Enemy is clearly the best for raiding, but you have to run focusing iris in M+. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, guys, no, it doesn't make sense. Blood of the Enemy is clearly better for feral, right? Overall, it's just better. And they're like, no, 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 you have to run focusing iris. Lo and behold, what does everybody run nowadays? They run Blood of the Enemy, rank 3 major, and yeah, I might be crazy, but no, yeah, we'll just leave it there. I am crazy. I admit it. Let's dive into this video and this new Feral Mythic Plus guide. I think you guys are going to enjoy this new build, alright? I've been running keys like crazy the past month. I've been trying to push IO. I've been playing with pugs. I've been playing with friends. And every scenario, I have been the top damage in almost every dungeon. There's been a few situations where Fire Mage or a Beastmaster Hunter will pull ahead of me, but most scenarios, I'm actually beating the Fire Mages. I'm actually beating the Beastmastery Hunters. And you might say, well, dude, you're only 3k IO, you know, like they don't know how to play around the Beastmaster Hunters and the Fire Mages, blah blah blah. Okay, you know what? These players, they know what they're doing, right? Sure, they're not the best teams, blah blah blah. I'm not saying I am an amazing feral druid. I am not saying that the content I'm pushing is the highest, but this is certainly above average. And I'm actually excited to see if I can talk any of the rank 1 ferals into playing this build and seeing what they think of it. Because in my experience, this build is kicking ass, and I'm doing way more damage with it than I was with the Blood of the Enemy build. So yeah. Stats wise, versatility, every piece of gear you want versatility on. Crit and mastery, both important. Um, there will be a scenario with if it depends on your Azurite traits, but you want to kind of stop putting crit on your gear once your Jungle Furies are putting you above like 80% crit, right? You want to try and float that 80% to 100% range for your Deadeye Spyglass if you're running that, obviously. Otherwise, hit 100% crit, do it. Mastery and crit, in my opinion, are equal in this build. Versatility is where it's at, and that's the important part. Talent-wise, we're just running the MOC Primal Wrath Soul of the Forest Predator build. Pretty standard there. If you are wanting to run the Blood Talons Primal Wrath build with Sabretooth, this is probably not for you. These talents are pretty much set in stone when it comes to maxing out DPS with this build. So yeah, if you like the Blood Talon Sabretooth Primal Wrath build, you're probably just going to want to stick with Blood of the Enemy, because this build's not really catered to that talent setup. Essences, alright? This is the reveal. Breath of the Dying Major. And, yeah, it's Breath of the Dying Major with Lucid Dreams Minor, Conflict and Strife Minor. Why? Because both of those are very good for Feral, and they also give you passive versatility, which is very important in this build. And then, last but not least, Purification Protocol Minor for the bonus damage in AoE packs specifically, but it does moderate damage in a single target scenario as well. The important thing here is the Breath of the Dying Major Essence, and why is it good? There's a few reasons why it's good. I'll go ahead and try and dive into all of them. If I miss one, or you're like, hey, you know, I don't think this is better in this scenario or this scenario, bring it up to me, mention it to me in the comments, or say something on stream, whatever. Yeah, Breath of the Dying, just like every other essence, scales with versatility, okay? It also can crit, okay, which is very important because as a feral druid, you're getting a lot of resets with your jungle fury, or Tiger's Fury, right? Which gives you the Jungle Fury Azurite trait, assuming you're running that on your gear, which is very much needed in pretty much every feral scenario, whether it be Raid or Mythic Plus. Even in PvP, Jungle Fury is pretty good. So yeah. Also, with Breath of the Dying, the reason why this scales so well, the reason why this goes with feral so well, is for the fact that you're getting your Predator resets on your Tiger's Fury, and you're also getting resets on your Breath of the Dying. Every Breath of the Dying can pretty much crit if you want it to. So it just goes with feral so well. It's just such a good essence. In AoE pools, you basically wait until enemies start dropping about below 10% health, right? And you blow them up with Breath of the Dying. You get the reset on Breath of the Dying. You get the reset on Tiger's Fury. Boom, Tiger's Fury, Breath of the Dying. Boom, Tiger's Fury, Breath of the Dying. Boom, Tiger's Fury, Breath of the Dying. And you just do so much damage. Your damage with the versatility on your swipes in massive AoE pools will also keep you above water. Like, you're going to be doing a good amount of damage AoE wise, like in massive AoE pools. The thing that Breath of the Dying brings to the table, though, is more priority target damage, and it brings that synergy with the Predator talent. Okay, so Breath of the Dying does a lot of damage already. If you can see, you see here, it does 80 or 71.8 damage, right? Critting, that's almost 150k damage, and that is without seeing the Lucid Dreams procs and the Conflict and Strife procs on my versatility there, right? I have crit with a non-buffed Breath of the Dying for about 200k, and a buffed Breath of the Dying crits for about 500 to 600k. So we're talking massive damage here, and it's very good for pretty much all of the obelisks as well, because every obelisk has enemies that you can actually reset on, right? You can get resets on the blobs, right, with the mind flay tentacles. You can get resets on the fear boss with the little biting ads, right? You can get resets on the tank boss when you're killing out the malignant tumors, and you can get resets on the spider boss when you're killing out the little volatile spiders, right? And just a little trick is when those volatile spiders are about to die, you can Breath of the Dying them, and even if they suicide or if they die to damage, it'll buff your Breath of the Dying damage. That one is pretty much just padding, I guess, in that scenario, but you can use that reset to then kill a spider and not have to wait for it to explode. Most scenarios and most strategies actually just wait for all the spiders to explode, so it's not as good with that obelisk, but every other obelisk, it's pretty good. Because you want to get the tentacles out of the way. You want to help your slower classes get through the malignant tumors, and then you also want to did I say the tentacles? Yeah, you want to kill the tentacles really fast, and you also want to kill the little ads that bite people in the fear obelisk. So while it might seem like padding, these things need to die anyways, and the way I look at it is you're leveraging Feral's kit to be much more of a priority target killing machine, okay? And you're going to pump. Another thing that's amazing is in Mythic Plus, I would say most bosses have some sort of ad in them that allow you to get a reset on that and then do massive damage to the boss. If you think about like Siege of Borealis, right? The tentacle boss, if you think about like, the first boss with all the ads that come out, if you think about the second boss with all the ads that come out, right? The only boss in Siege of Borealis that actually you don't get the resets on constantly is the third boss, right? So yeah, Waycrest Manor has a lot of bosses that you can reset on. Atal Dazar has a few bosses that you can reset on. I'm not gonna go through every dungeon, but you're gonna play this and you're gonna run into these bosses and you're gonna be like, damn, this is actually really good. Let's go ahead and talk about the Azurite traits. So you got Jungle Fury times 3 and you got Wild Flesh Running times 3, and it's pretty self-explanatory. In Mythic Plus, your top damage with this build is going to be your swipes, followed up by your Reaping Flames, and then followed up by your rips. Jungle Fury is what's going to basically make sure that your Reaping Flames are doing massive damage by giving you a bunch of critical strike on them, and then your Wild Flesh Turning is going to be buffing the damage of your swipes. Another thing that makes versatility extremely good in this situation is it reduces the damage taken, and it increases the damage of your swipes and your shreds. Okay, so you're going to be getting a little bit more damage out of those abilities rather than like mastery, right? in the Blood Talons build and buffing your bleed damage, right? Versatility buffs all of your damage. And it also reduces damage taken. So both of those are very good in M+. Obviously, there's some mechanics that if you get hit by it, you're just going to die. It doesn't matter how much versatility you have. Doesn't matter how much health you have. If you get hit by some mechanics, you'll just die. But there are some mechanics that are a little bit forgiving, and they're even more forgiving if you have a high amount of versatility. Corruption-wise, always run your Anzig Vra with the Devouring Vitality corruption as your main hand. I personally recommend running 2 times Severe. If for some reason you're like constantly overcapped on crit, maybe just lower that to 1 time Severe. And then from then on, everything else you want to just corrupt is going to be versatility. And the versatile amps, pretty much all of your gear you want to socket with versatility. You're just you're just banging on the versatility right now in my gear set, and I'm actually going to be putting more. I'm going to be getting more of these versatile amps. Right now, I'm running 30% versatility, and I'm just slaughtering the numbers. Like I am destroying the meters. I don't even have perfect build yet. So yeah. Trinkets. Last but not least, we'll go over the trinkets here. I'm running the Corrupted Gliders Insignia. I've only got the Duelist 460 version, but obviously you want to run the Gladiator 475 version if you can get that. If not, you can always run these other trinkets. Deadeye Spyglass is what else I run to kind of help me get to that 100% crit threshold. Tormented Jar is very good because that damage is also buffed by versatility, and then Tiny Electromental in a Jar, that damage is also buffed by versatility. So any 4 of these trinkets is very strong. Gale Caller's Boon is also a good option if you want to run that as well. But anyways, guys, that's Faramar's new build, and it's kicking ass, and I want you guys to try it and let me know what you think of it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Hopefully I wasn't rambling too much. If you want to see this build in live action, right, feel free to tune into my stream. I will be streaming keys as well. And versatile amps are coming up onto the rotation in 3 days, 2 days. So be ready for it. I'm telling you, this build is where it's at, my friends. Yeah, I will catch you guys later. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one.